right. Did Jose mention to you guys that I finally got around to starting to read Frontiersman?
No. Whoa. What did you
Got
think?
three. I got 3 issues in.
Wow.
No, I wanted you to tell him.
Oh, I just did.
This was your news.
So
How you liking it?
how you
I was
like it?
shocked. Absolutely shocked.
So I think it's well written. You know, if it got me to issue 3, that's already a good sign.
True.
I don't really like the Frontiersman very much, but I was actually sympathetic to the guy that's trying to attack him in the 3rd issue. Is that I forget what his name is, the guy, he climbs up there into the tree and they have this knockdown drag out fight, and I'm like listening to his dialogue, you know, because the villains can't keep their traps shut, and I'm like, yeah, I basically agree with all of that.
So you identify with the villain.
No, but that's the whole point, dude. It's a trippy book, like the ideals and everything that they're fighting for. It's like, dude, it could honestly swing both ways, and that's why I was thinking to Josh. I was like, dude, this fucking guy would probably side with the villain.
Although,
what did you say about the letter, though? You said you liked, or did you like the letter? I forgot what you said.
well,
At the end.
yeah, I don't remember if it was the author or if it was the artist of the comic, but you know, I don't know if they do this in like the modern comics for like Marvel and DC, but they always have like the letters to the editor at the back, you know. Well,
They only do that still on Image, not on Marvel or DC anymore.
Yeah, I figured they didn't because I don't give 2 shits about the fans anymore. But you could write in letters or emails or whatever, and they'd be like, whatever, delete. But in the 1st issue of Frontiersman, you know, they haven't gotten any letters yet on the quality of the comic at that point. So he kind of does like a 2 or 3 page thing on like his thoughts on the comic industry. And I thought he made some interesting arguments, and that part really made me think because he took a viewpoint that undermines one of my central tenets for evaluating pop culture. And he made an argument that I actually had to stop and like think about. And I'm not sure if I buy it, but it was presented well enough that it made me have to rethink things. So, and I spent a good portion of our drive back from Bakersfield talking through it with Liz to kind of bounce the ideas off of her and see what her thoughts were on the subject. Because obviously she and I don't see eye to eye on the state of comic books. So, but it's good.
Nice.
But I will say I'm happy that we got you to read something new. That's a win for us.
Yes.
Well, don't get your hopes up. We'll see if it
You don't
takes
have to
out.
like it. No, you don't have to love it. We want you to understand that there's more stuff out there, brother.
Sure. Ironically, the creator in that letter that he writes at the back of the first issue, one of the things that he kind of insinuates is that we have to let Marvel and DC go permanently. We just need to write them off as dead franchises and IPs and say forget.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Because
I think in a lot of ways, yeah.
But he
Go ahead.
he makes the argument from a different perspective than I would, but his argument is fairly convincing as well. So I just never thought about it from the way that he was presenting it.
Well, how does he present it?
Well, you know, my argument has been that the reason that Marvel and DC are dead in the water is because they've pretty much abandoned themselves to the social justice bandwagon, which involves the deconstruction of every existing character in order to have it cannibalized by the new cult. So, and that ruins everything that it touches. I mean, every character has been, you know, bastardized and transformed into something that nobody would recognize 30 years ago. His argument is that the thing that killed Marvel and DC is the canon itself. His argument is that canon, after a certain amount of time, actually serves as a prison for creativity and no longer fosters the capacity to tell new and interesting stories.
I think there's something to that. I know that when you watch like the DC stuff that's in cartoon form, they never have it be any type of canon, and they just kind of, I mean, it's loosely based on what you kind of know happened in DC, but they're not totally interconnected. So they'll do random side plots that don't necessarily match up with canon. I think that's what really drives the DC animated stuff to be unique and great. I see Lego and Jose shaking their heads yes to that. You guys have anything to piggyback on that with?
Well, you've heard us constantly always say, let creators create. Particularly, I think that's what was so interesting about the Frontiersmen. But then, you know, it's like Josh said, you got, you know, someone like Peach Momoko doing her own take on Marvel with the whole Japanese story. Elseworlds for a long time were really popular. Nobody cared, but they had to market them as Elseworlds, something that wouldn't mess with the continuity, because if it did, and people would get upset. But there's like, is Long Halloween canon in the grand scheme of things?
No,
it's not. It is you know, and that's in your, are you going to argue that that's not an amazing story? Is Dark Knight Returns canon? It's not.
Injustice,
they're not canon. Yet Dark Knight Returns is like praised as one of the best Batman stories out there. So I think,
but it wouldn't it be true to say that in our present comic climate that while they probably didn't fit into the standard storyline, I'm sure there's a lot of creators out there that would argue that that's part of the multiverse now. So you could have the Batman from Long Halloween make an appearance in the regular storyline by jumping timelines or something like that.
I mean that's kind of the. Sorry, go ahead, Jose.
No, go for it. That's actually, I think you and I were on the same track there.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that's we've kind of had these problems with like all the different crisis events and flashpoints and that kind of shit, where they try to rectify these different timelines and make all the continuity fit. And I think that's a fool's errand. I really do. How many times can Batman's parents die before you just don't care? It's just one of these things where repeating the origin, but also like the never ending element of it. It's like, at this point, Batman's been fighting crime for 75 years, 80 years?
80.
Like, I was reading Paul Pope's what is it, year 100 the other
Yeah.
day, and I'm like, dude, it's almost 100 years like since Batman's been doing his thing, and like we're still doing the same tired story. Like Miller came along, changed it. Maybe we've had like 2 or 3 different Batmans, but they all kind of stick to the same thing, and it's like it gets old after a certain point. And it's the same with Marvel. It's all these characters, they get old, and you got to get it fresh. And I think like we've said before, Elseworlds, that kind of thing, is a way to keep it fresh, because you're not getting necessarily tied down with continuity. You can just focus on what makes this character them to you. You know, like the Spider-Man manga is super awesome because it takes what Spider-Man means to a Japanese manga artist and lets them explore that through that lens. And that's something that's really special and cool.
Sure,
Yeah.
but don't you guys think that there is an importance to canon and continuity, or is that something that just doesn't matter in this type of a genre?
No, I think it does matter, but how many? It's like Lego was saying, but how many? There's got to be more than one way to become the Batman. There's got to be more than one way to become Spider-Man. I think when you look at everybody's experiences, like there's, you know, Josh is the way he is from his life experiences. I'm my way because of my life experience. Like we all different like that. I think it's important to know like the backstory. Batman's parents were killed, so he became the Batman. Cool. We all know that. That's the basics, but there's got to be more than one way. You can't tell me that your parents dying, you know, as you know, that's the worst trauma you could probably ever experience. But there are other ways to become the Batman. And I think, but
You could be Thomas Wayne in the alley and they kill your son and wife. No, they just kill your son, and then your wife becomes
your wife
Joker.
loses it.
Yeah.
Did you not like that story arc? Flashpoint was an amazing story arc. It took that origin, flipped it on its side. It's like, whoa. And it gave us something fresh. And that's what I'm talking about. When they do stuff like that, they're taking a risk by doing it. But let us as the fans tell you whether or not it works. But if it doesn't work, don't punish creativity by taking that away from the people. Like, oh, that didn't work. I guess we should just stick to the same old storyline. Then no, because you're gonna take the opportunity of someone like if Jason were to come along and he's got an amazing idea for a Batman story, but because the person before him that didn't work, that doesn't mean you stop taking risks, dude. That means you keep going. You keep going.
That's
with
what I
the
liked
risk.
about in the 90s, the Batman detective comics. They just seemed to be like their own separate thing, where it was Batman going and doing detective work. And it didn't really fall in line with like where he was before or where he was going after. It would just be Batman. And there was this case and he found clues and then he solved the crime and then the comic book was over. Or maybe it would
Legends of the Dark Knight too.
Or maybe one or two like to be continued in the next episode. But once that mini run was done, it was like its own little self-contained thing that it was done with. And you didn't have to know, like you would have to do in the Marvel's books, like where it would have little notes like this story starts in Spider-Man 202. You'd be like, oh, I gotta go try to find the back bins. And
DC did that too.
no, I did say
He
DC.
did that a lot. No, you said Marvel.
No, he said DC.
Oh, he did.
He was saying he was talking about Detective Comics.
No. DC said that I get what you're saying. We're talking about
Sorry.
the little notes.
Both companies did that.
Both companies did the
Yeah.
notes, but DC did the individual stories because there wasn't too many like self-contained X-Men stories that I was reading when I was reading the X-Men. And
That is
before,
the one thing I hate about X-Men.
right, you need to know like this
Fucking
big,
A.
crazy, long, dramatic
Jeez
soap opera of a
Louise.
thing. But I mean, I went from
I
was
fucking an X-Men run.
yeah, for real.
That will drive you fucking nuts.
But before I was reading X-Men, I was just reading Batman Detective Comics because I could just pick up a comic and read it. And if it wasn't done, it would be within the next 3 times. And I could manage to get 3 comic books. I could manage to get to the store at least once every 3 months to put that together when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So let me throw this out there because this was part of our conversation from yesterday, talking about this. And one of the problems, because we were trying to analyze like why would canon be a prison? Because I hearken back to the earlier days of Star Wars, the prequel days, when Lucasfilm had a continuity department. There was a guy, I think he's still working for the company somehow. His name is Leland Chi, but his whole job was to make sure that every comic, every video game, every book that was written, everything, the role-playing game, it all worked with where the characters are and where they're going, that everything, was like this unified like reality. And so I've long appreciated the sense of a continuity in that, so that things aren't like radically inconsistent with themselves. And so in talking about why continuity might not work, one of the problems, and I'll see if you guys agree with this, is that some of these characters haven't aged at all. I mean, Spider-Man was in college, in the late 60s? And he's still like basically the same age. Batman has been around since the 30s, and he's still running around like a middle-aged man fighting crime. Now, some characters, obviously, you can factor in like a timeless quality, like Wonder Woman. I can't imagine Diana getting old and having to lay down, and not do that anymore. But like at this point, Spider-Man, he's stronger and faster than your average man. So maybe in his 70s, he's still rather spry. But it seems to me like one of the problems when you talk about continuity is if your characters aren't aging and there's no plan for succession for the character, then I guess it could get stale over time. And we were talking, like, for example, with the Batman, that the idea would be that, one of the Robins would step into his place, and not necessarily that one of the Robins would become Batman, but rather Batman retires and now the protector of Gotham is Nightwing. You know what I mean? Something along those lines. Or, we were just kind of like rolling through these ideas in our head to try and figure out like what the problem is. Because like I said, Wonder Woman is always going to be Diana, and I don't think she's ever going to age, but that's not a quality that's going to apply to everybody. Some characters, there's an excuse, like Wolverine. We already know he's been around for forever. His healing factor keeps him relatively young, but somebody like Cyclops should be damn near dead, right? So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I actually think quite a lot about that, I guess.
Probably too much, right? Embarrassingly, I think a lot about that.
Yeah, right. I don't know. It's kind of like one of these things where I think the problem with like a legacy type character like Batman, or like, a Superman or whatever. Maybe Superman's not. Batman's a great example, because he's a human and he ages. But he's a legacy type character. Warner Brothers would never let Batman go. You know what I mean? Like he's too much of a Batman marketable product. Like he's worldwide at this point. Right. Like there's no way that he can go anywhere. Someone like Eric Larson, who's working on like a Savage Dragon, he could choose to age him up. Or like, I think that was a big appeal of the Judge Dredd comics, if they have any, American appeal, where they would follow like somewhat of a realistic timeline. I think you'd have to not have a legacy character in that place. Like it'd have to be something more independent, where the creator could work through this aging as the time goes on. If anybody'd have the interest to stay on something that long, that's a whole nother question. But when you're dealing with something like Batman, I feel like, let's just let the kids play in the sandbox and see what they can make.
Yeah, I don't like so I know, like, for example, one of the things that DC recently did, and you guys can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I seem to remember that they brought the Kingdom Come Superman into the standard continuity, and now he's on one of the Justice League teams or something like that. And I'm thinking, like, what kind of a stupid ass, editorial like decision was that to allow that to take place? That's supposed to be like a far-flung future sort of thing, and they're gonna bring him in, and now there's like 2 Supermen or 3 Supermen. It's like this idea of like a multiverse and letting the kids play in the sandbox. Oftentimes, it results in really dumb stories, like stuff that just doesn't make any sense.
Or maybe the story that brought them in the first place is cool, but then you're kind of stuck with them. And what do you do with them? I remember
that old man.
like, what do you do with? I remember when they had the all new X-Men, and they traveled through time and they snatched the X-Men out of the '60s and they brought them into the future, and they were like people out of place, and it was just the original X-Men, and it was cool at first, but then when they actually had to send them back in time and do that whole thing, it just kind of got wonky and weird. So, it's I don't know if there is a good answer, because these properties, they all kind of wax and wane, and like they've all been around for a long time for a reason, and they get in the hands of the right writers and the right artists, and they have a renaissance, and then they go in the back of the hands of B-list, C-list artists and writers, and they have an anti-renaissance. So it's
I mean, I know what Lego's talking about when you're looking at the meta issue of the fact that you're dealing with these corporations that don't want to let go of their money making properties and all of that kind of stuff. And I realize that talking about Marvel and DC, the ship has already sailed, and them trying to be responsible with the creative properties that they've been given. They're just like hogs in a pen running wild. But it seems to me that if you're going to think about making creative content, a canon only seems to make sense, but you just have to think through the idea that, the characters that you make, potentially are going to age out and retire and or die, and that you're not going to be like the big 2 and keep resurrecting these people ad nauseum so that you can constantly jangle a few more coin out of them.
all superheroes are aliens. They're symbiotes, like the Jaffa from Stargate. So every time that the host body of the superhero is going to die, the symbiote leaves that body and goes to the next one. But when it leaves the body, the mind of the hero resets to the original part, so that we've got a constantly changing yet the same continuities.
Yeah, John's bringing Watchmen into the DC multiverse now. It's like that was its own story, and it's like there's no need to bring the Watchmen into this.
Correct.
But yet DC wants to squeeze as much money out of the Watchmen as they can. So why not put them in the fucking?
Don't they have to use them every so often, or they lose the rights?
Something.
Yeah, but
then
they
give the
just
rights back to the fucking creator, dude. How was that Rorschach story named one of the top comics of last year? And
Oh my god, that had
That movie,
Rorschach.
that was so bad.
it was so bad yet, but of course it's because of that money being paid to Variety to say, hey, say this book is the best one of the year. And it's like, how? Literally sit down and tell me how. I read it. It was garbage. All due respect, but it wasn't good. And it's like, if you have to print out garbage to keep the rights to something, maybe you shouldn't keep the rights. So it like I said, it does go back and forth, but it's just, I don't know. But that doesn't mean you can't get a good Rorschach story. Just because this one didn't work, somebody else might come along with a much better idea.
I know, but that's the danger of having the open sandbox idea for creatives, is that I think what you risk is a predominance of shitty stories, as opposed to something that's worthy of the legacy upon which these things are built.
But see, I'm okay with that. I'll read the crap if it means that one day I'll get something good.
No,
What I don't like,
I think you have Wild West
saying,
China bootleg bullshit. If everybody can just do whatever they want,
that's the best book of the year, but it's like clearly not. It's clearly not.
John said all they have to do is just reprint the Watchmen trade to keep the rights. There was no need for them to throw them into the DCU.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
Reprint
they
trade,
just
yeah.
they just throw like a different,
Cover.
intro in the front, different cover, and it's a different print.
Forward from Alan Moore back in 1984.
Forward from Alan Moore recently. Fuck off. We keep the right, boys. But that's on DC. That's a whole nother problem. I think we've talked about this before, where it's like they got corporate boardroom dudes making decisions as opposed to creatives. Marvel's at least got people who have created comics getting a say and guiding other creators. So
yeah, DC went and they like fired the whole bullpen when Warner Brothers was bought out by who the fuck bought it
AT&T.
out? AT&T.
Yeah.
They fired everybody and had people that didn't even know I forgot what characters look like. So they had Jim Lee literally just doing a classroom and teaching these yahoos on how they look and what they do. And it's just like, really? You're gonna bring these people who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, start to create shit for you. It's wild.
But you know what though? I will say I would like whatever attempt they're gonna make. Like if they're gonna write a Batman story, keep the numbers going up. Like I don't think it's necessary to reboot and get a new number one every other damn month.
I agree with that.
Like
Absolutely.
I think if you're gonna make an attempt, let it be Batman 1000 something. I think to me that's a pretty awesome thing. It's like, yo, this comic's been around for 1,000 issues. That sells itself. And even if it's not
the legacy numbering, it's great. That's a great idea.
I mean, right now, what is it? Spawn, it's got the highest run as far as a legacy number.
Yep.
As a legacy? No, I think Batman and Superman still do, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Are they
as far as the
running?
legacy numbering, yeah, that's still there.
1,000.
But Spawn is still like
It's the same creative team.
They've never changed their numbering.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because during New 52, things like Batman and Superman completely stopped and restarted. So so Spawn's numbering is still the original numbering.
Yeah. Which just that's major kudos to them for doing that.
Yeah.
Keep
And
that
the
numbering.
movie was amazing.
Well, it's like I hear
Harlan just putting all the stops and just making such a great film. Kudos.
They don't call him the Todd Father for nothing.
Martin Sheen.
But that's I'm hearing the complaint from a few diehard Marvel fans who love, like, for example, the Daredevil run with Chip Zdarsky and forget what the artist's name is. They're saying that that's such a great run, yet it's getting rebooted. And it's like, when you read it, the details are like, it's the same that's the continuity of the same story they're currently on. But it's just Marvel's attempt to get variants and a number one and to just boost up those sales, where it's like, no, just keep it going. There's no need to do that. You can just, because when you read it, it's kind of like what you said, Nate, what you guys were arguing earlier. You need to go back and read the first story arc anyways for it to make sense. So why are you going to do it? And it's almost like a disservice to the fans who have, kept you, with that book, with Daredevil.
Well, that's part of the inflation of the gimmick covers. It's just part of what they're having to do to sell books now. And it's kind of like, it's like that poison pill. It's like, they got started doing those gimmicky covers and all. It's just like in the 90s. They start with holograms, and then where do you go from there? You can't not have holograms now. So you're going to have exclusive covers. You start doing that, then what are you going to stop doing it? How are you going to sell those books? And they just kind of like go and go and go, and can only go so far. At least, I don't know, man. It's tough.
How about you just write an awesome story? How about that? Let the comic sell itself on how great it is, instead of attaching all kinds of shiny colors to it and hoping people don't fucking notice.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, that kind of goes back to something I've been
There's
thinking
just
about
only so
too
many
with the-
quality writers, though.
That's correct.
There's only so
Which
many
means-
quality writers, and there's only so many quality artists, and there's only so much
Right.
money to pay them.
Right.
So
Well,
you get somebody, they're young and they're hungry. You get them cheap. Eventually, they keep on writing, and you got to pay them more and more money. Their work is more and more valuable, which is awesome as any type of employee. As you grow in the company and you get better with what you're doing, you know, hopefully the sales justify keeping those people on board. I know, like when they had Snyder and Capullo doing Batman Forever, it they were like a dream team on it. Then after their run, what happens is it kind of anticlimactic. I know you guys are big Batman fans.
Well, they rebooted it when Tom King took over, and that was completely unnecessary because Tom King was already doing the backup story. So again, like it was their attempt, but
I wonder what the cash infusion, the actual dollars. This is a Jose question, right? Because we talk about the don't make dollars and it don't make sense. Like how much just by rebooting every 10 to 20 issues and starting with a number one, even if it's the number one, it's the only one that gets you that gives you a little bit of a cash injection. I wonder how much it is.
I think it's a lot, dude, because people spend money on the ones.
Yeah.
The number ones make money and then they fall off after the twos and the threes. Two's usually the second lowest print run.
And one of the craziest things too, like me and the guy, I noticed it, and I was talking about it with the guys as we were walking Comic-Con last year in November. The fact that there was multiple booths whose sole business, like structure, is creating variants.
All variants.
It's not, and obviously they pay their fees to DC and Marvel, but it's like Virgin variant, black and white variant. It's like none of those variants are available directly through DC and Diamond and all. You have to get them from these companies, and it's crazy. And almost all of them are exclusively number ones of one run or another. So it's that whole other thing is wild to me. So if there's businesses literally built upon the concept of a variant, I think it's safe to say that that's why these companies continue to do it, because there is got to be some money there. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I was telling the guys, like, whoa, like
flabbergasted.
I was flabbergasted. I told the guys, I was like, Jesus, like, you guys realize we just passed like 2 or 3 booths, remember? And we're like, they're all just selling variants. That's all they're doing. And that to me was crazy. And it's like these booths are not cheap, and people were lined up to pay for. Well, one of Lego's favorite books from last year, Stray Dogs, had so many variants in it, and it was wild. And even by Lego was like, this story is great, it's amazing, but the variants, that's where it's at.
It's kind of like Marvel and DC and let's say Stray Dogs too. They're not in the comic selling business, like they're in the comic selling business. They just want to sell more books, and it doesn't matter what's in the pages as long as they got a new flashy cover and they can slap another number one on it. It's good to go. It's the same reason I don't really collect CGC books. Because what's the point? If I just wanted to look at, it's like, why would I want to look at the cover? The cover's cool, great. Like, I'm sure the artist worked really hard and whatever, but man, what's comics is inside the comic book.
Right.
That's what I love.
That's right.
So I really don't see the point.
It's one of those things where, like, in my perspective, I get it if you have like a particular comic book, and the cover like really stands out to you and you want to get that thing slabbed, and then you can have it like as a display piece, like a piece of art. You know what I mean? I can get that, but like people who do nothing but collect slabs, the only way that I can look at something like that is that they're just investors. They're looking for a commodity that they think is going to retain value over time. and that, in my mind, that denigrates their standing as like a comic book fan. You're just you're like the companies. You're just trying to grift off of something that should be a cherished form of storytelling and art, and instead what you're doing is you're turning it into pennies. Screw you.
I get what you guys
I'll
are both saying there. Go ahead, Lego.
Oh, I was just going to say I'll throw one bone towards the slab collectors, because I can understand if a book came out in the 60s and the thing is, if you breathe on it too hard, it's going to fall apart. I can understand wanting to preserve like a piece of, let's say, comic book history. That makes sense. But, those kind of books should be reprinted and available, I think. But anyway, just go ahead, Nate.
Right. No, I agree. If you have like some golden age stuff that's just, in pretty decent condition, you want to preserve it. I'm sympathetic to that. But you can't make that argument for anything after 1980.
Sure, you can.
No, there are no comics.
You can choose to once again state your opinion as fact, but there's thousands of dollar signs behind The Walking Dead #1 that came out after 1980 that would say otherwise.
Sure, but that's again, we're not talking about actual rarity. We're talking about a fad.
It is actually pretty rare. You can't really find that book anywhere.
Well, because people are holding on to it, not because there aren't that many. How many Superman #1s are there?
Well, I think the print
7?
runs, the print runs since the 80s and 90s, I think, have significantly diminished even. So
well,
it's
not even the print runs too. Is the print runs / condition, and they're commodities, and their art and their stories. So there's enough of them to where they can be what they need to be for the people who slab. Because most of my books are raw, but I've got slabbed books, and I have slab books that came out past 1980. And when I'm blessed with the time to be able to sit down and read a comic, I fucking love it. It's great. But I also want to make sure that, jeez, moth got in here. I also want to make sure that
I was making a point. Like,
no,
sorry, Nick. Go.
No, it's all good. I also want to make sure that I've been able to. I collect toys too. The point of toys are for little kids to play with them. Why don't I just get them and give them to little kids that'll just fuck them up and break them? Even though I've been saving them since the 80s. If I don't give them to little kids and let them play with them and break them, then I'm a dumbass, because those toys were produced in mass. Would be the same fucking point that you're making on the comics. Like, no, this is a rare special thing that I want to keep for as long as possible. It's a collectible. It's worth money.
For that Action Comics #1, there's 50 to 100 in existence. So that's pretty fucking.
So wait, 50 to 100, so they don't even know.
They don't even know the actual number, but the estimate is 50 to 100.
Every so often, somebody breaks a wall down in Chicago and pulls it out.
So now, in comparison, how many Walking Dead #1s are there?
Yeah, but a Walking Dead #1 goes for like 1,000, while a fucking Superman #1 or Action Comics #1 goes for 3.8 million.
3.2 million.
3.2.
Right. So one is an actual collectible, and the other, as I said, is just something that people fancy at our present time.
Fancy enough to spend how much money on?
Like a G.
Yeah, I mean, it's a commodity,
Sure, people spend all kinds of money on all kinds of crazy crap. It doesn't mean it's actually valuable.
Yeah, it does. That's exactly what value is.
Well, I mean, sorry to say this, but weren't you telling us about a board game that you paid a little extra for because it was so hard to find?
Sure.
But that was valuable to you. You said it was worth it. And I'll be damned, because we had I don't know, what was the name of the game that we played when we did the White Elephant?
Fireball Island.
Fireball
I don't know how you
dude.
That shit was fun. and I see the value in it. I'm like, dang, you know what? But how much did you spend for it? How much did you pay for it?
I think when we bought it, it was like 150, but I think it goes for over 200 now.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't go that far, but you
Sure.
would. You see what I mean?
Sure.
But I'm not going to deny. I'm not going to deny and say I didn't have fun playing it, and me and the guys actually want to play it again.
Sure.
But it's not
Sure.
like $200 worth fun to me. But
if I sold this pen,
it.
somebody's walking down the street and I sold them this pencil for $100, then this pencil is worth $100.
No, you just found a sucker.
But it was
Suckers born
worth
every
100
minute,
to
man.
It's
somebody.
worth $100.
Yeah, I know, but you're robbing somebody.
Not robbing.
No,
them.
no. I mean,
want
people
something
can pay whatever they want to pay for something.
Yeah.
And things are
It's
worth
tough, but
whatever
see,
somebody will
look,
pay for it.
But that's where it gets real gray when you start talking about comics as a commodity, and that's totally not what we were. See that it's tough, and there's the argument because I started recently buying a couple slab books that were, that I feel like, you know what, these are actually, you know, they have some kind of value to them, yeah, man, it's a tough thing.
You can't enjoy those comics because they're slabbed. You could just look at them.
No, but the good thing is that a lot of those stories are already reprinted, so I technically can.
Like I'm not going to slab Fireball Island if you could even do such a thing. I'm not going to slab it because I want to enjoy it.
Yeah, you might just be creating a business.
I'm sure
right
somebody
now.
has one slabbed.
Who would have thought?
I'm sure somebody has a mint Fireball Island that's never been open slabbed, and the one that person has is not worth $200. It's worth $10,000.
I don't think it's that high, but I agree it'll probably be worth more. Sure.
Who would have thought that you could have slabbed Super or Nintendo games, dude? Now we have that.
And VHSs.
And we can't enjoy them. But technically we can because of Amazon, Hulu, all these other streaming services. We can still enjoy them. One day
I can read this comic book. I could break it open and I'll read it for myself.
So let's just say, worst case scenario, apocalypse happens, we all get wiped the hell out, and a new generation arises, whatever. These slab books are going to be protected. They can crack them open and read what we were reading. I mean, I don't know. I see it like that. They might stand the test of time, possibly, and maybe in the future, someone might just be crazy enough to say, you know what? Let me crack this thing open and see what this is all about.
Josh drew a Josh line. Jesus Christ could walk across water and come to him right now and say that slab was what comics need to be, and Josh would be like, I disagree. So we're trying to.
Who said that?
Squeeze water out of a rock right now.
Who said that?
What?
Who said that? Or did you say that?
That was Nate saying
I said Jesus Christ.
I thought you were reading it. Sorry. I thought somebody in the comments was saying.
Oh, no. All right. So
but Josh did say, though, that he does understand if some people slap books from like Golden Age and things like that. So he's not entirely opposed to it.
That's correct. There are certain cases where something actually has real legacy value that I could see that. But like if you're slabbing some like random Captain America issue, it's like really,
which is what's happening right now. By the way, sorry to interrupt.
I'm not about that.
Yeah,
I think first appearances, even if they're modern.
Yeah, but first appearance
I don't see a problem
Squirrel
with that.
Girl. You want to slab first appearance of Squirrel Girl? Come on.
You see the girl they got to play her in the trailer or in the. Is it the first appearance of Squirrel Girl?
Yeah.
No, that's the first Scumbag. That's going to be a piece of comic book history if I've ever seen it. First Scumbag.
The Scumbag #1. Star Wars homage.
Yeah, the whole.
All right, we're gonna shift gears.
We're gonna shit.
let's go on a different path. Talk about
Doctor
Finale-
Strange and the Doctor Strange. Let's talk about that.
You want to talk about that before you get up and walk away?
Doctor Strange.
I was thinking Peacemaker, dude. And I wish Josh had caught up with it.
Me and you
because
watched it.
It was
Nobody
only
else
us two?
watched it. Yes. You don't
Oh,
have
man.
the big MODOK head in here. You ain't got MODOK here.
No goblins.
No goblins.
Hey, where is the homie at?
Where is that homie?
I don't know. Who knows? All right. Well, I guess we can talk about. Well, did anybody else see the Doctor Strange? What you call it?
Trailer.
Yeah. Did you see his trailer out back?
Stop, fool.
Sup, fool? That's Jose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fool. I'm pretty strange, and I kind of am sort of a doctor.
Doctor Strange.
Dr. Green Thumb, fool.
Yeah,
So-
I saw it, but I feel like this goes back into the whole discussion we just had about continuity. I have real concerns that the kind of the introduction of the multiverse on this kind of level is just going to result in the collapse.
Lazy writing. I'm worried about it making lazy writing too, for sure.
I mean, because so where do you draw the line? So Spider-Man No Way Home, from my perspective, that's like peak multiverse. I think that's about as good as you could have done it by introducing old characters from different timelines and like try to make a unifying story. But in like the multiverse,
Bring some
of
back some
madness,
nostalgia and whatnot. Yeah, no, it was.
in the multiverse of madness, I think it's going to be way. It's
Gonna
going
be
to be like
madness.
that, but turned up to 1,000. Yeah, it really will be madness. I mean, we talked last year about Bruce Campbell hinting that he was going to show up as Ash from Army of Darkness in it, and we got all these hints in the trailer of characters from other movie franchises showing up and certain storylines being a part of the arc that's taking place in here. And then you have to ask questions: are we going to see Tony Stark again? Things like that.
Tom Cruise is Tony Stark in an alternate universe.
This thing could be just so.
They're like
over the
zooming
top.
in on little crazy things, trying to find Easter eggs and whatnot in
Right.
trailers.
I just think that when you unleash the multiverse on that kind of a level, I think you're just going to lose the cohesion of the story that you're trying to tell. There's too many things going.
Trying to talk about the multiverse and the madness that it brings.
Yes. I think it's a great subtitle, but we might watch the MCU implode on itself.
These zombies, we're gonna see
Yeah.
Carter, Captain Britain,
The Illuminati.
Illuminati.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Hugh Jackman showed up, for crying out loud.
Hugh Jackman with his Hugh Jack body. Yeah. Deadpool.
You could have Wesley Snipes.
Professor X,
Get Deadpool. Oh,
Deadpool. They're gonna have
Paul.
I mean, for crying out loud, why not have Lou Ferrigno show up as the Hulk?
It's
That
possible.
would be awesome. I'm going on record to say that now.
No, man, don't do it. Don't do it.
all those 70s, 80s Marvel characters. Fuck it, dude. Let's go into
You're gonna have that Bollywood Spider-Man.
that Bollywood dude.
The Bollywood Spider-Man. Have you guys seen it? Oh my god, it's so crazy.
All that. Let's see it all.
But see,
Hey, there is a Spider-Man India, so it's not
but-
that far off, dude.
but just think about the fact that if they're gonna put Ash from Army of Darkness in it,
He's not
then
in-
why not something a lot closer to home for Disney, like Star Wars?
You're gonna bring
Who's to say that we're not going to see that show
I
up?
thought you were gonna say like the Lion King.
No.
We're gonna see
Please, for the love of God, let's not do that.
Anna from Frozen joining Professor X.
You're gonna let it go.
Man, if they break out into song, it's over. It's over.
No, what they're gonna do is they're gonna do it like Endgame style, where all the portals start opening up. You're gonna see all the Pixar characters walking out for battle.
The Buzz Lightyear movie,
And after Disney acquires DC, that's how they're gonna bring Batman into the Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh,
that Buzz Lightyear trailer.
Man.
Have you seen that? He looks like an officer who turns off his body cam.
Oh fuck.
Oh man. Oh, my eyes are watering.
Did you not see that when I saw Buzz Lightyear? I was like, holy shit, he's ready to ask me for my documentation. That don't look like my friend. He looks like my enemy. He's the guy that shoots Sid.
You're gonna get deported to infinity and beyond.
Run like the wind, bullseye.
Oh my god, that looks like the type of officer that turns off his body cam. You kill me, dog. But I see it now. I can't unsee it now.
When you watch that Buzz Lightyear movie, you're like, he's gonna do some shady shit as an officer, as a young one.
Let's be honest, though, man. They kind of primed us for that. You know, like there was a lot of movies in the 80s and 90s where the officer was rogue and he went against what the department said and he got results. And now we have to get used to officers doing some shady stuff because that's what we've been trained to do.
Is there a trailer for this?
For the Buzz
Yeah.
Lightyear? Yeah.
Okay.
It actually
I'm
looks
gonna have
kinda
to.
cool.
I'm gonna go screen cap that, and I'm gonna redub it with all not doctor, just Judge Dredd quotes.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it has no dialogue either.
Perfect. Even better.
Who's voicing him? Whose voice is it? Tim Allen? Tell me it's Tim Allen.
Carl Urban, I think.
No, it's
no.
Carl
Is it?
Urban.
Oh man.
It's not Tim Allen.
It's
That's
Chris
not
Evans.
what it looks like.
Chris Evans is his voice.
Who?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans is doing everything, dude. I heard he's
No
gonna be
good.
Mario too.
No, Mario is what do you call it? Chris Pratt.
There you go, Chris Pratt.
Oh, good.
How about that Chipmunks? You guys see that Chipmunks preview?
Chipmunks, a new one?
No. Rescue Rangers.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It looks horrible. One of them looks like one of them looks like just a cartoon. The other one looks like CGI, and they're bagging on him like he was like he got plastic surgery. That getting made over from being traditional animation to CGI is like getting a nose job or something. And then
That might be kind of funny, depending on how they do it.
Oh yeah. That looks pretty funny. I can't wait to watch it. Is this on Disney Plus? Yes, thank goodness.
Looks crazy. Oh man.
Gadget gonna be in that One Piece still?
What?
One Piece, what, the overalls?
Yeah. Did you ever see the robot chicken?
No.
They did a robot chicken of them, and she's like, "Hey, I just realized none of you guys wear pants." So she comes out with no pants on, and they all go crazy. It's so good, so good. You need to check it out. Robot chicken, Rescue Rangers.
There's supposed to be a knockoff on Tom Selleck and Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that on the trailer.
Oh, it's good times. All right, what else happened this week, guys? Since nobody watched The Peacemaker but me and Isaac, jeez. Dude, they were, for how good it was, they had a little bit of two things they talked about. Libertarianism being quasi-fascists, which I was like, what? And there was just two underlying woke things that they said in there where the whole show wasn't. And they had to just.
I didn't pay attention to any of that, I guess, because I don't remember any of those two things being mentioned.
Yeah, it's kind of my thing. I'm listening for that kind of bullshit. But
yeah, sometimes the old woke radar picks up on things that aren't really there. It does that for me all the time.
it wasn't even there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Once we had John Cena speaking Chinese on video,
man,
apologizing, it kind of like made me always be cautious.
Havoc's in the chat. He's all Peacemaker was awesome.
It was. I had a good time with it. They had a Justice League cameo. It was good.
Oh yeah, that was surprising, and I liked when
and it was fucking funny too.
Funny, yeah. I don't want to give it away. It was good.
Oh man, it was good.
I was like, okay, I know we're not gonna see the actual Superman, and I know that we're not gonna see Wonder Woman because they wouldn't pay them for this, but we'll see the other two. And yeah, they were the only ones that were actually there.
They had the remove scenes too, where they had Batman and
really?
Cyborg there. Yeah, but
why'd they have to remove them?
Probably because they didn't say for sure, but it's probably has something to do with which Batman they're going to be having in the continuity and which Cyborg they're going to be having, because they had that Cyborg that was in the Justice League movie, but they also have the one that's in the Doom Patrol. So they weren't sure which one they're going to use, and they got to get permission from.
It's so fucking messy. They're planning because they have no plan.
Right.
As you can see, they still have no plan. The Snyderverse dropped fucking a year ago, and they still have no plan on what to do.
I think they were planning on dropping the Snyderverse, and then they dropped the Snyder Cut, and they're like, "Oh shit, everybody likes the Snyder Cut. Well, maybe we do the Snyderverse." Oh, I don't fucking know. Now we got Twilight Batman. And
well, Ish, I believe it's Israel who pointed out to us, McLovin, or he pointed out to me that he was looking at the release dates for everything DC, and he says there isn't anything past 2022. He pointed that out to me. He's like, what's scheduled for 2023? He's like, you got Marvel scheduling things past, I think, 2024, but he says DC's got nothing. And I didn't realize that until he told me. I was like, oh, you're right.
That's when they sell to Marvel.
Yeah. Right. No, Disney, dude.
Whatever.
They're going to sell to Disney.
Person.
There is no Marvel anymore.
Only Sewell.
Fortunately, he's right. That's the bitter pill to swallow, man.
Isn't Shazam Fury of the Gods supposed to be in 2023 and Blue Beetle?
I don't know, is it?
There's supposed to be a Shazam Part 2 and a Blue Beetle and the Flashpoint movie.
Are you looking it up?
I'm all for a Flashpoint movie, but we've got Marvel doing the multiverse shit right now. In 2-3 years, who the hell's gonna care, dude?
Right.
What what's
like
funny is
Justice
wasn't it
League
DC? Wasn't it DC that first came up with the whole idea of the multiverse thing with that Flash issue where they're running side by side?
I just sent an invite to the Goblin. Let's see what he has to say. Let's see.
The call.
He's writing all kinds of stuff. They didn't use Cyborg because Cyborg has been fighting with higher ups.
Oh yeah, the actor. I forgot about that. He's been getting into it with them.
About what?
Black Adam, Shazam is fighting right now. Let's see. Shazam is filming right now. They just finished Flashpoint.
So yeah, there's movies coming out. Yeah, somebody said that the Peacemaker needed more Batman jokes. Batman needed to show up to make a joke at him too. Yeah, Black Adam comes out this summer, Josh, just in case. I know you have that date circled on your calendar.
He's making the circle sign right now.
Right.
You can smell what Black Adam's cooking.
That's the day with.
Yeah, that Fury of the Gods is 2023 June, and then Blue Beetle. That's why that Blue Beetle book went up.
It's not because Steve bought them all.
There's supposed to be a Supergirl movie now too in 2023, and a Green Lantern Corps. A
Who
Static Shock
cares?
movie is in the works. Zatanna, another Wonder Woman, and the Gotham City Sirens,
Not Satana.
and then Wonder Twins.
Oh
Are you
my
serious?
Yeah, there's a Wonder Twins film that they're talking about. It's gonna be an HBO Max release though. The Amazons, they're gonna dive into that. There's a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for them to spend all this time making these movies just for them to suck.
So you haven't watched any Peacemaker, Jose?
Nah, dude.
Damn, dude.
I keep trying to, but I can't see the main guy.
That's a horrible joke.
Who the hell invited Steve? We can't see you, dude.
Oh, you see me.
I actually saw him there for a second. He was in the shadows. He's a ninja. He lives in the shadows.
He's the Beverly Hills Ninja.
Havoc is our most
Brutal.
finest comic collector there is out there.
But you had a point earlier that it's funny that actually Lego had a point about having the multiverse. DC was the first one that created the multiverse, yet Marvel is way in advance and having it on their movies. And DC can't create it quick enough for them to bring it out before Marvel.
When did DC come out with the multiverse?
It was in The Flash.
It was when
was that written?
Crisis on Multiple.
Yeah,
verses.
Crisis.
The Crisis.
When was that from?
That was
like 1980 or something.
1970,
Yeah.
1970. Like and around there, it was the Flash comic where they're both running. You have the Golden Age and the Silver Age Flash, and then with Crisis on Infinite Earths, that's when it blew everything up.
Yeah, way before Marvel, and like Lego said, like no one's gonna care about these. All the normies are gonna be thinking that DC is copying Marvel, and you know, and they should have had this Flashpoint movie already done way in advance to fix everything, but DC takes their sweet time, which is not that good for them right now.
Is it that they're taking their sweet time? I know that in order for Marvel to get ahead, they had to sell off like their best properties and then use the rest of them, the money they made from selling their best properties off.
No, DC's not hurting.
Dude.
DC's not
that
hurting.
was to stay afloat.
Yeah, that's to stay
That had
afloat.
nothing to do with the
DC's
movies.
DC's owned by AT&T, so they're not hurting. They have a lot of money, and it's just they don't have a head of creator like creation. Like they don't have a
Feige.
Feige, they don't have someone that has a vision.
I think they're trying to make that James Gunn's job.
I would pull a big truck of money and dump it on Gunn's front door and make him, at least.
Is Gunn the guy though? Gunn does good stuff though, but it's too goofy for a whole fucking like DC lane. I think.
I don't know.
I think it's a good. I think it's a good like.
Able to make those obscure characters fucking relevant and characters you want to see, and it's like.
No, I'm entertained by them, but like.
But I'm not saying.
I don't
I'm not
see
saying
Gunn doing a Batman movie.
I'm not saying he has to make every single. I'm not saying he has to make every single movie. I'm just saying, like Feige, gives direction at least to what they want to do, not make the movie, not write it. It's like just give like, hey, why don't we go this way with this universe? Like let him take over the DCU universe right now, the main one, which all basically all the movies are from right now still. And let him take over that, and you'll still have the Matt Reeves Batman because there's still a multiverse. So, but like I said, they don't have that certain guy to do that. So that's why DC always looks like they're behind.
So you would want Gunn to be like kind of like how Bruce Timm kind of took over the animated styling.
Yeah.
And you think Gunn would be a good fit?
Yeah, he loves comics. I mean, he actually loves comics. He actually collected comics. He knows a lot about comics. He's not doesn't like sometimes you get these actors that said, "Oh yeah, I've read these comics when I was a kid," and you could tell right away like, no, you did not. But you're just saying it just to say for the movie.
Telling you for the press junket.
Yeah, Gunn is
culture vulture.
Yeah, Gunn is not that way. Gunn actually like comic books. Like, he knows the history of comics. So
James Gunn is for like DC, like what Kevin Smith is for He-Man.
No, because like Kevin Smith changed a lot after he got that heart attack. He totally changed. Like, I like the guy. I like the old Kevin Smith, but this new Kevin Smith, like, Jesus Christ, he turned woke like so fast. It's ridiculous.
They don't call him the king of shills for nothing.
It's just sad what he turned out to be. But I love me. Don't get me wrong. I love his old like movies. I still love them right now. But
they replaced him with a body double, just like Paul McCartney.
I think he's a Chinese clone.
I'm a clone. It's a clone of a clone.
But yeah, DC needs someone to spearhead their movie.
So now that you're here, Mr. Havoc, how about another season of Peacemaker, man? That's coming, right?
Yeah, it has to. It
did so good.
It did so good.
So
like you said, from a like Isaac said, a character that no one really. I mean, yeah, he was good on the movies, but who would have thought he would make
fuss about this guy? No one was looking for his comics.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people are buying.
It was almost like a throw-in joke for the movie, and then they just kept it going.
Somebody was on our stream yesterday asking for Peacemaker books, so we're like, "What?"
I mean,
do you have any old Peacemaker?
Old Peacemaker from like the 70s? Like, what?
Was he in the 70s?
1966 was his first appearance. Fighting number 5. Fighting 5, number 40.
I didn't even know Peacemaker existed.
I didn't know he was that old. I was lucky enough to find the Peacemaker Vigilante first like meetup together on a comic not too long ago before the show dropped. And that book's like going for like $30-40 now.
Right now, that Vigilante book, the first appearance, is going like crazy.
That one too. And that's in a Teen Titans book, and nobody looks for Teen Titans books.
Nobody buys Teen Titans books.
You find those at the Swami all day, every day.
Only like hardcore collectors will buy those fucking Teen Titan books, but other than that, nobody.
I was buying those Teen Titan books, and I didn't buy that one.
Well, you rarely buy any good books, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'm not hoarding all the fucking
Generation X, Generation X1. Yeah, but that Peacemaker has to be a season 2. There's gonna be one.
They left it open for that.
They left it open. He did it. He wrote it so fast, and he directed it in 6 weeks.
Yeah,
he finished the show.
Did all that.
They did that whole thing in 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Oh damn, that was good.
Shows his range on how fast and how great he can create.
And during the pandemic, like, not even it was hardcore pandemic time when he did that.
It was so good.
So imagine now that it's a little bit new. Like, it's a little bit looser than when he was directing it. But oh yeah, dude, he man, that dude could think. Like, it's such a good show.
You could see, you could feel the Shaun of the Dead in it. You could feel it, like, so, like the vibe, the jokes.
For me, I mean, I myself, I wouldn't mind having a vigilante miniseries, you know.
Yeah.
That guy stole the show.
Yeah, he did.
Even the dance moves at the beginning, the Napoleon Dynamite dance
The
moves.
comedian.
I never fucking skipped the dancing. Like I watched it through every
Same.
show.
Same.
It's funny. It you can't skip it. It's part of the show. It's so good. I wanted to see if the guys wanted to do the choreography with me.
Trying to get TikTok famous.
Yes, we could be TikTok famous with the Peacemaker.
There we go. Maybe we'll do it for our next intro.
All right.
Speaking of intros, whatever happened to the stuff you guys filmed at Jose's brother and the cousin and sister's mother's uncle's cousin's former roommate filmed for the intro for the show?
It should be here either tonight or tomorrow. From what I heard.
Did anybody notice that they're gonna do a remake of Highlander?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
They're gonna get the guy who directed John Wick to direct it, and for Connor McLeod, they're gonna have Henry Cavill play him.
Really?
Yeah.
Who?
Henry Cavill.
Superman.
Oh, Superman.
The Witcher.
I think as long as they don't cross over into Highlander 2. Highlander 2 was so bad.
And I heard that they're just gonna basically CGI Sean Connery back in it, so it should be good.
Serious?
Are they have like a Tupac hologram?
No, they're gonna straight out do it Luke Skywalker style.
That's right. You don't even need the actors anymore. Just recreate the image, man. Let's go.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I want them to leave it alone. The original's good enough. You don't need to touch it.
I did like the TV show that they had. It wasn't bad. When it was
So did
Duncan
I.
MacLeod,
did
Adrian
I.
Paul and Duncan MacLeod. I like that. I almost like that more than the movie, to be honest. If it wasn't for the fact that the movie was like what I had seen first, it was a cool show. I like the premise, especially because it almost seemed like it was better for a show than for a movie because of the build up and the bunch of bad guys, and he gets a sidekick and he ends up being an immortal too, and he has to kill him.
But you don't have Sean Connery and then the Kurgan.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. Why don't they just? There's so many good stories to be told. I don't know why they got to keep on digging old shit up. Why don't they have a Philadelphia movie?
It's a series that's coming to HBO.
Oh, sweet. Got to get that #1 Philadelphia CGC.
And get it in 3 years.
Yeah, it's still cheap right now.
I got one already.
Yeah, it's cheap to have right now. Anybody will get it.
What about Something Killing the Children? Where's that? How's that coming out, Isaac?
I think that's coming to Netflix.
Netflix, dude. We canceled them today.
I'm thinking about canceling them today. I might cancel them too.
They're charging us, they charge us $20.
It's like I think it's like $16 or something like that.
Yeah, ours was like for us, and then some people were using the thing too, so we're paying for the 4 lines, and I was just like, fuck that. And then I canceled Adobe Premiere because I was going to use that as the editing for the videos, but that shit's hard to use, and I just been paying for it. You can't just buy it. I have to keep paying $20 a month for it.
Why don't you just like freaking?
I'm using something different. I always have been, but I bought that one because it's more advanced. So, and I was going to try to spend time and learn to use that program, but I just been paying for it and not using it. I've been using the old one. So I just canceled that shit. I canceled Paramount Plus. And when I canceled Adobe,
no, I like Paramount Plus. I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Well, I'm lying. The only reason why I have Paramount Plus is because there was special sale for it was if you get Showtime, you get Paramount Plus for free. So I'm only paying one thing, so I'm like, all right, I'll get both of them. So and plus, there's a lot of good stuff at Paramount Plus. I can't drop it.
I wasn't watching anything on it. I like the Twilight Zone on there. And then it's gone now. So,
dude, there's a lot of good series in the Paramount Plus.
Yeah, no. But when I canceled it, they were like they offered me, oh, stay on board. You can pay half price. And I was like, nah. When I canceled Adobe, they were like, oh, stay on board. You can pay half price. And I was like, nah. Cancel Netflix. I didn't even want to cancel Netflix. I was hoping they were going to try to be like, stay on board. You can pay half price.
Oh, no, they're not going to do that.
But when I called, they're like,
later.
Yeah, fuck you. You can come back in 10 months. You can come back in 10 months if you want. We'll keep all your profile, but peace. I was like, all right. So
I got too many apps right now. Like,
that's the thing, right? The thing is, shit. If you're not watching shit right when it comes out, then just fucking pick 3 of them and then cancel one and start one every other month. And have a fucking rotation. It's not that big a deal.
For me, I have almost everything. Like I have like Paramount Plus, Peacock, HBO, Showtime, Netflix, Hulu. Because I got the 3-pack, so I got the Hulu, ESPN Plus, and Disney. So that saved me some money.
If you want ESPN,
I need ESPN, bro. Come on, bro.
What are you watching on ESPN?
ESPN Plus. It has all the
watching the Olympics,
the UFC fights.
Okay,
the UFC fights.
If you watch UFC, that's cool.
It has for me because I like soccer, so it has a bunch of soccer games. So.
Oh man, you watch people running around for 2 hours and ended a 0-0 tie.
Yeah.
Biggest fucking lame. You like wrestling too, right? That explains
it. Wrestling.
Hey. You know what?
Be careful.
We might have to bang your ass for tonight, bro, because wrestling is awesome.
Well, that's the only way you get me is if you get me to agree to you banging me beforehand. And then having me act like you did. That's the only way you're gonna hit me is if you'd be like whispering in my ear, hey, I'm gonna hit you right now. Act like it hurts.
You could tell he had a horrible childhood.
Those guys are good. Those guys are good athletes and they're good stuntmen, but that shit isn't sport.
It's entertainment, bro. Come on. We all know it's not real. It's entertainment.
I mean, if you like to watch guys follow a script and hold each other, roll around together, then
watch
that's
the
cool,
NFL.
dude.
Yeah, watch the NFL. That's scripted television for you,
bro. Makes me wonder how much of all pro sports is like that.
All right.
I keep having flashbacks of Don King, you know.
Oh yeah, boxing that's super rigged.
Boxing is a joke.
Hey, there's Jose Sport now. Jose Sport. We're the wrestlers. Jose's the boxer.
Jose just likes Mexican. Jose just likes Mexican athletes, and if you you got to be in boxing. So
you don't. I like plenty of other boxers that aren't Mexican.
Do you like it when they fight Mexicans?
Yeah, I like it when everybody fights everybody. Period.
So you root for like a not Mexican boxer against the Mexican boxer?
My dude, when Errol Spence fights, I root for Errol Spence, baby. I don't care who he fights.
That's good. Most of my Latino friends love boxing, and they just do it like they won't even root for a Puerto Rican against a Mexican. They're just all about Mexicans. Baby.
Yeah, that feels good though. Canelo's damn good.
A few months ago, I was actually rooting for Gabriel Rosado. He's Puerto Rican.
What?
Wait, what happened?
Yeah, you were.
You had
were
to
all
use
Zap and
antidote on us,
Roger
man.
the whole time when you were talking.
Zap and Roger.
You are.
No, that's
I
good,
love the
Jose.
sport. I don't care who's fighting.
I've always likened boxing to like one-legged racing or something like that.
Why is that?
I don't get that.
Because they're not all the way fighting.
What?
It'd be like, yeah, they can't kick, they can't elbow.
Oh, he wants a blood sport.
Oh, he wants
Yeah, that's right.
He wants a UFC fight.
Kumite.
Racing's racing, right? Like if we had to hop on one leg and race, it's still racing.
Sure.
Whoever gets to the end of the run faster.
It don't matter if you first, last, or by a yard. Winning's winning.
That's not the quote. It doesn't
I
matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning. Damn.
Fuck that movie.
Put some respect on my homie Vin Diesel.
Family.
No, rude.
You never turn your, you know why reverse cowgirl. It's so illegal in Alabama because you don't turn your back on family.
Y'all are foul.
It's Comic Cave After Dark. Put a poo emoji if you want to hear more of this fun shit.
How many people are watching?
One.
According to my iPad, there's one person watching, and we had a peak of 3 people. I think today. This is the worst.
No, I saw 4.
We peaked at 4.
Because you don't turn your back on family.
Oh, rough times.
Yeah, well, since they heard that you hate wrestling, they all left.
All 4 of them.
All 4 of them.
I don't know, man. I've tried to watch soccer and I tried to watch wrestling, and I'm just fucking bored with it.
I watched soccer when I was in Vegas. That was pretty entertaining.
Like I can't. The last time I tried to watch wrestling, I just can't. Like I've seen what's happening, and it's just when they throw a guy to the ropes and he runs, turns his back, bounces, and then runs back at the guy and then gets clotheslined. When it's like, if somebody tried to throw me into the rope, I would just like take 2 steps and stop. Like I wouldn't run back and forth and while you jumped up over my head, and it's
Use
just
the momentum of the rope to
yeah,
the guy's head off.
Come on. I don't say you could tell right away that Nate never saw this when he was a kid.
I did watch it when I was a kid.
Man, you must have been a horrible, boring kid.
Tito Santana.
Damn,
No, I wasn't a horrible boring kid.
If you didn't like wrestling,
I used to set up punji pits and fuck up guys like you.
Here comes the punch.
To the flaming glorious punji pit.
Yeah, if you don't like WWE back in the day,
it was WWF, dude.
That's right. We were there before they told us to get the F out.
Yeah, that's true.
Tito Santana, Junkyard Dog,
the Iron Sheik, baby. The Iron Sheik.
The fucking Rockers.
The fucking
before the Rockers
Warrior, dude. When he was all nice and roided up.
Yeah.
That was when the
parts unknown.
Rowdy Roddy Piper. That guy was my guy.
Yeah, that guy was awesome.
He was the best.
He was my favorite until Mr. Perfect came along.
Oh, that dude was badass.
I remember when he was getting ready for his title match against Hogan. You know, they have like these intro montages for the two of them, and like Mr. Perfect's out there in the golf course, and he hits the ball and it goes in. He's like, "You can't do that, Hulk Hogan." Then he's on the basketball court and he shoots it and it goes in. He's like, "You can't do that, Hulk Hogan." Like he does like 10 different things, like one shot, like perfect. Then he walks out to the ring, and I was like, "That's my guy, Mr. Perfect."
I always thought Mr. Perfect
was
awesome,
dude.
I thought he was a low rent Rick Rude.
No, he was no Rick. He can't compare Mr. Perfect with Rick. He's a whole different character, bro. Come on.
He had the perfect plex, man. Come on.
Come on. Rick Rude was, hey, don't get me wrong. Rick Rude was an awesome wrestler, but they're two different types of wrestlers. Mr. Perfect was one of a kind, bro. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Both of them.
He had a great he had a great theme song too.
So they're both heels. They both had mullets.
Everybody had a mullet back then. Hulk had a mullet too, except he was bald on top.
It was a bullet. It was a bullet. Yeah, those guys that live the rough lives. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I just can't.
Jake the Snake.
I tried to watch it with Miles, and maybe that's the thing too. Like some of our friends that watch it, they watch it with their kids. I tried to watch it with Miles, and we were just looking at each other and having these knowing nods about how ridiculous it is.
Hey, bro, come on. Miles is he's like an 80-year-old man, 80-year-old kid, bro. Miles is he's a way more mature for his age. Like he looks like, yeah, he's not a young kid. He's an old soul.
He wasn't when he was 7, and we tried to watch fucking wrestling.
That's what I'm saying. That kid's an old soul. Come on, man.
Dad, do I have to watch this?
Dad, are you saying you're gonna leave Mom for some men?
Why do they hit like that? Why do they stomp their foot when they hit and not even touch the other guy when they're hitting them?
See,
is this supposed to be real?
If my kid was, if we were watching wrestling and that was my kid, I would have just clotheslined him right there and then. I would have clotheslined him and I would have power bombed him just because.
You would have got him in the Goblin Plex.
Just for that, bro.
The Goblin Plex.
Take him down to Goblin Town.
Gave him the mandible claw.
He would have cut a bowl cut on him and dressed him like Guy Gardner.
Yeah, I would have had a mullet with like fucking like Nick does on his whatnot this past weekend.
Yeah,
I saw the mullet here first. Isaac had it.
No, I seen him wear it in person a long time ago. I mean, it was when he had me way before the whatnot thing, when he had ideas of doing it on YouTube by itself.
I never see Fuzzy and the Fat Man come out on YouTube anymore.
No, this is not. Yeah, it wasn't just Fuzzy and the Fat Man. It's just him.
Or I mean, what is it?
Him and the kids.
With the kids, yeah, I haven't seen it in a while.
Well, shoot, he's been doing so much Fuzzy and the Fat Man stuff that all the other stuff has been on the back burner. Plus, he's been taking a lot of trips.
How's your guys' whatnot stuff doing? Is it picked up since we talked last?
Still about the same. The same.
Dude, his last whatnot was awesome, dude.
But yeah, Fuzzy's killing it on the whatnot.
Fuzzy's killing it, man. It was fun. I already knew all the prices, and I was still bidding on that motherfucker because it was fun.
Same.
I think that's the appeal of it. I remember I haven't really got into whatnot too much just because
you don't want to, because you start spending for stupid shit that you don't need.
Well, yeah, I had got into, I want to say like 2 years ago, there was like some G.I. Joe groups where they had Facebook live sales, which wasn't technically whatnot, but it was the same fucking premise.
Yeah. And
you get in that group, you get in that room, and it's all the same type of people, and you kind of go there. It was Fridays. It was like this guy named Joe Frice, and he called it Frice Day Night Fridays. And you go there with a bunch of G.I. Joe guys and end up buying some guy. You have 4 of them already because the price is cheaper than it would have been on eBay or whatever. So you're like, ooh, I can get it for a deal. Even though you fucking have 4 of them. And if you want to get rid of it, you're going to have to eat 20% to it's just, but there's a hook to it. There's a hook to it for sure.
Oh,
they even had one of the guys who was one of the regulars who was buying stuff in there, like got cancer, and they had like a fundraiser where people were donating G.I. Joes to sell, and the money was going to that guy's chemotherapy. It was a cool community, but I eventually got to the point where I had like every G.I. Joe, and buying more was just not an option. Plus, trying to buy this fucking house.
Yeah, it gets dangerous if you don't if you if you're there like I don't know where you get bored next thing you know because there's so many channels now they just start jumping around different locations and you start seeing these great deals like even like you said you might have that comic for like 5 times already like 5 comic books but oh man he said it for $1 I could maybe I would be able to sell it for like 3 or 4 or whatever but
Get some rivals in the room. Say,
it's still
oh,
dangerous yeah
he's gonna try to bust a dirty Sanchez on me again. I'm gonna get that shit.
yeah
You gotta watch out for shills too.
that's true that too but yeah, it's a Fuzzy. Fuzzy's been kicking some ass, man. He's been killing it on Whatnot.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe to our Whatnot channel. We got Thursdays for the toys coming out on Thursday evening, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
What happened to the Make Havoc YouTube channel?
Oh shoot, I haven't done a video in like
Yeah,
8 years. It wasn't bad. I had pretty good views, but just editing the damn videos was just a pain. So boring. And then I started seeing other people doing some editing, like when LJ was doing his stuff at the same time. Like, dude, his editing was amazing.
He didn't edit anything.
Yeah, he did.
He just did unboxings.
No, he had a bunch of editing on his videos. He's just on his old videos. He worked. He has a lot. That's why he stopped because he was getting so into it that it would take him hours on editing because he was doing multi cameras, multi angles. He was doing all this stuff.
Are you sure you're talking about the right guy?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why he stopped doing them. It's taking him too much time. And I just like, I just got bored. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I stopped.
Well, it was all over a loss.
It was fun though. It's fun doing them, but I enjoyed watching like when LJ was doing it and James was doing it. But now James is
Comic Zombie.
James was now hardcore Funko Pop picture editing now.
He's a picture guy.
Yeah, he's a picture guy now.
Pictures, toy photography. There we go. That's the title.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's more obsessed with Funko's Pops right now than comics.
Yeah, I remember we had that talk about Funko's Pops. You and me and James about how they were stupid and we would never get them.
No, they were stupid and we never get them.
And well, yeah, me and James got into him, and it was over.
Oh, that's his channel?
Make Havoc.
That was my, yeah,
that's the Goblin himself.
That's my old channel. Yeah, that's my old. I had a bunch of it. Well, that's all right. I didn't have not that many, but
dang, this guy's
put out some subs, guys. This is a homie. Look at Ramos doing some sketches. Todd Knock, Garcia Trail.
Well, at the beginning, it was supposed to be.
What is this?
That's a strip club in Hayes.
Yeah, at the beginning, I was gonna do like hiking stuff because I was into hiking a lot, but then I started using it for my comics, and I was like, why not? But yeah, I did a few videos.
8 years ago. Fuck.
That's a long time ago.
You
see, at the end, I had a nice little like cover at the beginning and shit. I was like, yeah.
You have a One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Getting hit with the cease and desist.
Is this the room? The infamous room?
It's the bang bus. What am I doing in here? It's my first time. Oh, look at that. A Guy Gardner 9.2 signature series.
Oh yeah, that was Long Beach Comic Con. I got it from I forgot what was the guy's name, but the artist.
Bold Cut Jones. Oh my god, you got a sketch as well.
Yeah, from him too. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of my prize of joys right there. I can't believe that's 8 years ago, bro. Oh yeah, Chris Claremont's on there too.
Yeah, but X-Men #1 CGC 9.8, you were saying you couldn't find one.
No, I have that. No, that was mine. Yeah, it's my personal one with because I think Claremont was there. It was a good.
That's a Gambit too, right? What'd you get on the Gambit? 9.6.
The Gambit.
Ooh,
9.6
too.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can press it into an 8.
I hope so. Well,
no, you can't because it's already signature series.
You could.
You can if you
yeah.
say it's just.
Yeah, you can.
If I have them do it though, huh?
Yeah.
It got a lower grade because it tore while we were cracking it.
That's a gamble you take, but yeah, the 9.6. I thought I was gonna get like a 9.2, but I got 9.6 on that gamble. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, the grader came in hung over and he fucking tore your book on accident. Sorry.
that was
cool.
the last good Long Beach Comic Con like they did. After that, there was not that many good ones after that. I think that was like the last one I went 8 years ago. Because they don't have that many good guests anymore. So there's no point of going. And that's right before I think it split. I think a year after that or 2 years after that, it split to Ontario.
Wow.
But now that con season's starting, so finally it's back on. So WonderCon's coming in April. What was April?
We're also doing a small show on March 6th.
Oh yeah, we're doing that. Is it called?
The Near Mint show.
Yeah.
At the the Brookhurst Community Center in Anaheim.
We're a part of the community.
Yeah, we'll be there from 10 to 3, along with Rage Comics,
Fuzzy and the Fat Man,
and 50 other vendors. So it'll be good times to be had by all.
Brookhurst Community Center. That's like Brookhurst, just by like right by like the 91.
Right off the 5, isn't it?
The 5 freeway, yeah.
It's right off the 5 heading to Disneyland.
The Brookhurst Community Center. Is that on Brookhurst? No, it's on Harbor. I'm just kidding. I don't know where it is.
No, I know where that is. Miles had his junior high dance there.
Yeah, so it's gonna be there. March the 6th from 10 to 3. We will be there.
Yeah, they're all now finally all the cons are starting to get back on. So I'm just waiting for Amazing Vegas to start showing the guests.
Yep. We'll have more information on our Instagram, including our signature rates. Me and the guys will be doing signings. We'll be doing it real cheap, just as if you mentioned the Comic Cave, we'll give you $10 off. So instead of 50, it'll be 40 per signature.
Are you gonna give people $40 to get your signature, or what? What you say?
Precisely, man.
Buddy,
someone's gonna pay for that signature. Might will be me. I'm gonna find a giant size X-Men #1, have me and the guys sign it, and then send it off to CGC.
Damn.
Like, did you hear about these Comic Cave guys? They're ruining classic books.
CBC books.
It's a meta statement on the state of comics and CGC. Like, yes,
and then
yes,
they're in the metaverse pretending to be creators. One called himself Stan Lee.
One is stale and one is Tanley.
That book was written before they were even born.
Oh fuck. Shit.
It's gonna be good times, yo.
Are you guys gonna go to WonderCon? Any chance, any of you guys?
No, probably not.
Yeah, I already requested the days off.
Like
I already got a
You're not?
you.
Like for what? Point.
Looking into getting a press pass.
What about you, Lego? You to go?
Oh yeah, it's pretty close to my daughter's due date. And,
Take her.
I don't know.
Take her.
I don't know how I'm gonna be feeling.
Wait, Isaac, you're not going?
No, I'm going. I was fucking around.
Oh.
Yeah, I might get myself a room at the Hilton. I'm thinking about it right now. You're on mute, Jose.
He's not talking to us.
Oh, I thought he was talking to us.
Sorry, I was talking dirty to my wife.
Oh,
If you like, I'll repeat what I said.
no, it's okay.
I said, sorry, I got muted again.
That's dirty. You're dirty.
I can read lips.
All right, guys, we've reached 11 o'clock again. So we filled out our hour and a half for our live stream. Lego, you drawing?
Yeah, I was gonna
man,
ask. Are
I'm
you
working
trying,
right
Lego?
now. I'm working.
Working. Dope. All right, guys. Well, don't forget to check out the Comic Cave tomorrow. Actually, Wednesday morning.
Or on whatnot.
Tomorrow, whatnot.
Tomorrow's Whatnot and Whatnot. Tequila
Boys,
Tuesdays.
Yes, sir.
Tequila Tuesdays. Don't forget to go check out Ray's Comics.
In Garden Grove, California, next to the Big Bad Wolf Lodge, just 2 miles away from Disneyland.
And if you have one book in your pool, get 25% off books. 10% off toys, 15% off of trade paperbacks, graphic novels.
If you
Check
can't
'em out.
find a deal cheaper anywhere else, fuck it.
I don't think you can.
I don't think
that's
I
like
don't
other
think
places'
I don't
sales
think
prices.
you'll find anywhere
That's
else.
why you won't. You can't.
That's the best deal right there.
Guys, I'm so sorry to do this, but I just got breaking news that the Raised Comics promo is done. I forwarded the link to Nate. Should we do a viewing party?
Yeah, let's do it.
Should we all watch it together?
Yeah, let's
Ooh.
watch
Yeah.
the team.
Ooh, do
Let
it.
me see.
Let's do it.
Let's
Where,
tag team.
where'd you send it through?
Email to Nate Father.
Okay.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
It's okay. NateFather@gmail.com.
Send all the D pics you want.
Dude's gonna say.
Elephant truck.
Perfect.
James Lewis would like to know if we're gonna have a photo op. $40. Wait, there's 3 of us. Yeah, $40.
Does this have sound in it?
It's the
James,
final
it
cut,
is.
so I would imagine so.
I'm not
it's a
sure if you
package
guys will
deal.
hear the sound, but I'm gonna play it
$20
anyways.
for me, $10 for the guys. But if you get all 3 of us, you get $40. It's a deal.
What the fuck?
It is good, huh?
What is this?
Noise.
I'm gonna go work out
Nice.
tomorrow.
Damn, that
Dope.
was nice.
Good.
Dang, that's gonna
dope.
look so good. That looks good.
Nice. Very nice.
Where do you guys want that at?
Before the pick of the week.
There you go. I like that.
So what it's in as far as the setup goes.
So what we'll do is we'll say,
We'll
with
go.
all
Thank
these great
you.
books.
Yeah, we'll do
Just-
the outro where we do thank you to Ray's Comics for this.
Quick
and
word
then-
from our sponsors,
Yeah,
and then
there
the
you
pick
go.
of the week.
I like that.
There you go. That's good.
First, yeah, just like the news. Quick word from our sponsors.
Cool.
Have you ever wanted a comic book? Well, come down to Ray's Comics.
If you only like Captain America books, come to Ray Comics.
Josh has got them.
Only 25% off for all pool list customers.
Oh, that's a good deal.
25.
This is like pervy comics and shit. Pick up the phone.
Drop a poo emoji in the comics.
So you guys want to keep it 44 seconds?
Pick up the phone.
You remember that shit?
It just took me back to the fucking 90s. 12 o'clock.
Oh man.
Pick up the phone. It's that's just sealed in my head, and the steel drums. Ding, 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 ding. Girls go wild. Took- Anytime I hear steel drums, I'm like, where's that commercial coming from? It's like, no, it's just some dude out in the fucking mall playing steel drums. I'm like, oh shit. I thought that sold on TV fucking stores got girls go wild.
Let me see.
Good shit. It's nothing like the 90s, dude. Kids have it so easy nowadays. Whew.
Pick up the phone commercial.
This guy's looking at, he's about to fuck up his whole algorithm.
Where'd it go?
Oh yeah. What happened to Liz? Did she was too tired today, or?
She's sick.
She had like an allergic reaction to something, so she took a couple of Benadryl, and that makes her loopy, so she retired early.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Look at that. Jeez.
Oh.
Oh, the 90s.
Look at that big ass hair. Get a close up of her secret confessions. Like the episode of Beavis and Butthead. Sit on the phone. Sit on the phone. Peekaboo.
Come to Butthead.
Come to Butthead. Ah, yes.
True romantic confession.
This isn't the right one.
This is 6 minutes long. Fuck.
It's probably a
That's a lot.
compilation. It's a compilation.
Oh,
6
Pick up the
minutes.
phone. Oh,
Oh,
good
good
times.
shit. All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you all this week. Later on, Lego, let us know about that movie ASAP so we can try to watch it on time.
All right, will do.
You're looking out, y'all. I'll see you next time.
Laters.
have a good night.
Night.
Nighty